of what it's like for a person to be walking along on a path, hiking or something, and then there's a ravine too big for them to be able to jump, and it looks impossible to get to the other side. They don't know how they're going to do it. It looks like a really big problem, and it's going to be a really big deal, and potentially not possible at all. Um, and that life situations can feel like that. And then I saw this visual of two adults holding onto the hands of a little kid, like a little toddler, and how easy it is for two adults, to pick up a toddler and like swing him and set him down, and the toddler loves it, and it's so fun. And if there was a crack in the sidewalk that they're walking on, they could super easily, it like doesn't take very much strength for an adult, to do, lift the toddler over it just fine. And that's how, when it came, then the visual came back to this ravine and this adult on this path. That other side of the ravine is where the path continues, and they don't know how they're going to get across, and how easily God can just lift them across the same way, adults lift a little toddler across a crack or a hole on their path. And after that realization came through, it felt so light. And the experience felt, instead of, oh no, why has this happened in my life? Why do I have this experience where I came to a big hole on my path? Like, why did this ever have to happen? This is really scary and feels really hard and impossible and really stressful. Which really is like experiencing a job loss, experiencing other roadblocks of moving to a new place and not knowing anyone yet, or having any relationships built up in that area, or taking a leap and going into a school program, or starting something new in life, or a new chapter in life. It can feel really, really big and not possible. And as I saw in this visual there, so I could see from above this hiking path that had a ravine at that point that we had been looking at, and there were a few more. There were like 3 ravines across this person's journey, and at the first one they came to, they just couldn't see a way across and see why, like, this is ending the path. This is the worst thing that could happen on my path. There's going to be no way across this. Why did this happen to me? And then seeing them get lifted by God over the ravine and say, well, boy, I'm glad that's over with. That was so scary and hard. And they keep walking, and then they learn and realize, so after we have an experience that's pretty stretching, in the moment we might have trauma and have even trapped emotions and other energies get stuck from the experience. And while trauma energies are present, that's kind of the loudest thing we'll hear. But our system is also acquiring experience and wisdom. There's little nuggets of wisdom underneath, like the bottom layer of every experience. But if there's trauma energies present, those will kind of cover them. But as we can heal and release trapped emotions and other trauma energies, the wisdom becomes more apparent and we can see it. And so this person, as they were walking, they healed the trapped emotions that got stuck from that first moment when they encountered the ravine, and the wisdom came to them of what they gained from the experience, and it was to realize that their God, their source, can actually just easily lift them over ravines the way adults can lift a toddler up a curb. Really easy. Like super easy. It's not even a thought really for adults to lift a toddler over a crack or up a curb. It's so simple, it's so easy. And that they got to gain that experience and understanding for themselves by having had that experience of encountering a ravine on their hiking path. And after that, wisdom was able to be realized. Often, I don't know if you ever heard anyone say this or yourself say this, once we acquire all the wisdom from our experience, if someone says, hey, if you could go back and erase that challenging experience in your life, would you? If it also erased all the wisdom and miracles and blessings you gained from it, most people would say no. because the wisdom is so valuable, it's invaluable. And so this person realized hindsight in this visual of, um, wow, to gain knowledge and experience and realize that my God can lift me over ravines. That is so, oh my goodness, I can see now why that was so valuable to have that happen in my life. Because I want to know that and I want to have that wisdom within me. I am so grateful for that experience, that that experience brought that to me. At the moment I walked up to the ravine, I did not know anything about this. I had not gained experience for myself. Um, it was just really scary and startling, and I didn't know how I was going to get through it. And now I see, and I could even also visualize God watching and knowing the value of this experience that they didn't see or know yet. Just like a toddler. If you've ever seen them when they come up to like a crack, for them it's a big deal and they're not sure. They might even get down on their hands and knees to like try and figure out, or like just slow down and get really focused to try to make sure they're going to be able to step over it without falling into it. That similarly, but us as adults know like this toddler's going to be fine, and if they can't get over it, I could super easily just lift them over it and it won't even, cost me any energy. It'll be very easy. So cool to experience in this visual that God knew that the whole time, but they didn't know it until they got to go through it. And so then now they have that very powerful wisdom inside of them that when they come up to the next ravine, they have that with them. And it might still look scary. It might still look really deep, look really big. It might still be, you know, um, a nervous experience to get to be, even if they know God has lifted me over ravines in the past, it's something that is possible, and I've gained that knowledge for myself. They might still feel nervous about it, but they know that it's possible. And after doing it several times, it can actually get fun. I'm like, I love flying. Look at this. Another ravine just appeared on my path. I'm excited. I'm going to be flying today. God's going to lift me up. And I love that feeling of, whew, stomach lifted and like just air around me. Eventually it can get, oh, I got the chills. It can get exciting. It can get fun through our personal experience. Oh, I love that. That things that for us look like a really big deal, for our source and our creator, it's not a big deal. Like it's not hard at all. And we get to gain that through experience. We get to gain that knowledge for ourselves. That's awesome. Oh, whoops, I need to end. Okay, I know how to do this.